What is the cheat code to wealth? If I had one magic wand or one idea, this is the one. There are some things that we will also talk about, but I believe I have uncovered the cheat code to wealth. And this couple, PTO for Life, aka Jeff and Saleka, they're doing it. They are currently in House Hack 8, ready to move to House Hack 9. So without further ado, the cheat code to wealth is house hacking. And if you can house hack,
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question. You two are leaders in the space. I do want to highlight that you two are leading off day 2 of the One Rental at a Time Vegas event. We have a very special focus on couples because I think couples that do this journey together, it's just more enjoyable. It's more supportive. You get to the end and enjoy it together. And I can't think of a better couple to lead off day 2 than the both of you. So Jeff, Saleka, thank you for doing that.
Of course. We're honored. So excited for that. And yeah, we're super pumped.
Yeah. That's
Awesome.
really
Awesome. Well, why don't you, just in case people don't know who PTO for Life is, why don't you give each of you give your kind of resume of PTO for Life, where it started, where you are, and we'll dig in from there.
Okay, I'll go first. PTO for Life was born in a car a couple years ago. I was invited to go on a road trip, and I really wanted Jeff to come with me. And Jeff said, "No, I don't have enough PTO days. I have like 3 left for the rest of the year. Like, no way I can go." And I was like, "Dang it!" And we were already house hacking at that point. We were probably in our sixth house hack, and I was like, "Oh, if there was only a way that we could have PTO for life." And then he's like, "Actually, we're working towards it. So eventually, yeah." And I was like, "Oh my God, PTO for life. That is what we're going to have. That is so cool." So yeah, eventually, and which now we have it. And that's where the name came from. But Jeff can tell you about like how
we did it. Yes.
We did it.
Well, yeah, like the version goes in 2016, I read a book by Mark Ferguson where it mentioned 2 sentences that said you should buy a 2 to 4 unit. And the concept was called house hacking. 2 to 4 unit property. And that just blew my mind because at the time I was living in a condo and I was like, why am I paying for this condo and this building by myself when I could just buy a multifamily and get 1 unit, have the same kind of life, but now own the whole building myself. And then that one idea, I came to her, is like, are you down to go live in a 4-plex? And she was on board from day 1. And then that's where the journey began in 2017. And we've done 8 house hacks in 7 years and still going strong today in our current little triplex. And just loving the journey, I would say. It's gone by so fast.
Yeah, it's really wild to think about, right? You're so 2017, we're about to hit 2025. 2025 will be your 9th house hack, it sounds like you'll be moving into. So there's so much there back to doing this as a couple, right? I don't think it's unreasonable to say that house hacking is at least somewhat of a sacrifice. Maybe it's not seen that way if you're in a 4-plex, but you guys have done all kinds of house hacking, right? You've literally had roommates. You've lived in very small, ADUs or accessory dwelling. And, most people think sacrifice is a 4-letter word. So why don't we just talk about that journey and just remind people, hey, we went, because I think the first one was a 4-plex. Why don't we just run through the 9, what they were like? Where were you guys living? And if you had roommates, how many? Let's just paint the picture of sacrifice.
Okay, so
I guess.
Yeah, you'll remember. So the very first one, we started on the 4-plex. We did have our own units, but we were also creative. That first year, to help with the cash flow, we did a little Airbnb. We rented a room out. So we started experimenting that first year. And the other units are just more long-term market tenants.
Right.
And then going to House Hack 2, we switched. We did a house with mother-in-law, lived in a basement, had 2 roommates at this time on the basement with us, sharing 1 bathroom. There's a first sacrifice. I know. It wasn't hard for me, Mike. It was
Well, your bride. Yeah, it was hard for your bride. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And then we had a tenant above us, so we had we learned about noise and with hardwood floors, and we didn't know that at the time, and we learned pretty quick when you have families above you with multiple kids how it could be a little loud at certain times of the day. And then going to house hack 3, now we learned from that one, we're saying, okay, we want our own bathroom, so we went from 2 roommates to now it's another up-down duplex, but it was a 4-bedroom, and we took the master, rented out 3 rooms, but had our own bathroom this time. So that we still have 3 roommates.
Oh, you're balling now. You have your own bathroom.
I know. It was a luxury.
We felt like kings. We did. Yeah.
That's
but then we lived upstairs this time, Mike. So we appreciated living upstairs instead of in the basement and catching spiders. And, yeah. And then going to house hack. So that's 3, 4. Now we found a duplex with ADU, and then we lived same thing. We lived in the 4-bedroom, 2-bath ADU, and we took the master again, had 3 roommates, and then rented out the duplex, Section 8 and Market. So we still had our own bathroom. That was our luxury at the time. And then what was after that? The Amherst.
And Amherst.
So number 5. Oh yeah, number 5. We finally went full luxury. We lived in the ADU. We found a house with ADU and lived in the smaller 1-bed, 1-bath ADU.
How big was that? Like 500 square feet or
750?
Oh, balling 750.
So we went from a 150 square foot room to a 750 square foot little house. So it was like amazing to have no.
And what number was that? Was number 5?
Number 5.
And we had our own
number
kitchen.
5. You did your 5th one.
Yes.
You actually lived together, as most people would call a married couple. No roommates, nothing.
Yes.
All right. Number 5. All right. Okay.
And then we think, okay, we wouldn't go back to living with roommates, but number 6, we did. So now we're in April 2022.
Okay.
And there just wasn't, this is right when rates, I'm sure you remember that, right when rates started going like that, and locked in at a 4%. So we timed it just right before it went way up.
Nice.
And now we lived in another master 7-bedroom, 4-bath house. We lived in 1 room.
Wow.
Yeah. And the master in that one had her own bathroom again and 6 roommates. The difference.
So talk about that one. Cause again, from 1 to 5, you're gaining something as the owners, right? You first it was your own bathroom and then it was upstairs and then you had your own space, but it sounds like 5 to 6, I'm going to say you went backwards. I don't know if that's fair or not.
Backwards to go forward, though. Yeah.
So I'm just curious, was that a hard choice or it was like a no-brainer?
No-brainer.
Really?
Because it's going to be over in a year. It goes by so fast.
What I hear you saying, Suleika, is 750 square feet was just too much space. That's what you're telling me.
I'm the one that had to move everything, so yeah.
We need less space, Jeff. Less space.
Yeah, as long as there's room for my plants, I'm happy. There was plenty of light in that room. I was super excited about that, and so that drew me in right away.
All right. So you're at the house. I'm sorry. So that's 6.
Yep.
Okay.
And then number 7, we went to duplex. We had our own unit this time, but here's where it gets fun. It was a there was a separate entrance to the basement. We had a kitchenette and we rented out the basement separately because it was just us 2, no pets, no kids. So we had 2-bed, 1-bath unit for us, rented out the basement on this duplex, kind of made it like a triplex, and rented out the side. So we lived upstairs again in our own little 2-bed, 1-bath unit, and that was number 7.
Are you back to 750 square feet, or where are we on the square foot?
That was pretty good size. I think it was around 750.
Yeah.
It was 2-bed, 1-bath, so it wasn't.
All right. So you went to the master bedroom. Now you're back to your own space in number 7. And where do we go in number 8?
So 8, we are here today.
Yep. In our triplex.
Yep. And it's 1-bed, 1-bath. Now we're in a smaller space.
Yeah.
I just go where the deals go, Mike. We go.
Yeah.
That's where the deals make sense. So it's not so much. In the perfect world, we kind of like get bigger, better spaces, but this one was the best deal.
Okay.
1 bed, 1 bath, 530 square feet. Separate. We have our own space. It's a side by side, so it's just one wall.
And then sound like number 9 got locked up.
Yeah, under contract.
Under contract. What do you got there?
So we're going back up again to it'll be a 3 bed, 1 bath, 4-plex, and a little bit more space.
You're gonna have your own place this time.
Yes.
You're not gonna have roommates.
Yeah, no roommates. I think. Well, we won't do roommates the next one, but if we ever had to go backwards, are you down for it?
That's fine.
Yeah. So that's why.
Wow.
That's why she's the one.
I'm happy.
Dude, at some point you could just tell Jeff, no more roommates. We're adults now, honey.
If it works out with the numbers, I'm okay with it. I'm fine. I think that now we have enough flexibility that even if we do have roommates, we can lock up our door and just head out to Colombia or something, hang out for a couple months, and it's not a big deal.
Nice.
And actually, the last one, Mike, really quick on House Hack, the one we mentioned where it was a 7-bed one. We actually had we had like a little studio, so like a little kitchenette. We had separate entrance, so it wasn't fully.
Oh, so it wasn't going back totally.
Exactly.
Back. You had
so it was a little bump up,
right.
but we've been up and down. But I think our journey's been so fast, right? And that's probably the most amazing thing. It doesn't feel like it's been 7-8 years so far. It's gone by like 2 days. It feels like.
Yeah.
So let's paint the picture of this, because again, people go through that. They think about doing that. Some people's heads explode. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, for lots of different reasons. Moving 7 or 8 times, it could blow people up. Going up and down, from gaining things to losing things could blow people up. But the one thing I want to highlight is you guys clearly don't collect a lot of stuff, right? You don't just keep adding stuff, because again, if you're moving all of that once a year roughly, is that just so talk about that, because again, a lot of people, just as they state, they just nest and they buy more crap and tchotchkes and all of that. Are you guys just a couple that it's not about the stuff, it's about the experiences and doing things together like that, making memories, or what's the deal?
I like stuff. I mean, Jeff sometimes has to get on me about stuff. I do. But I like it to be something that's meaningful. So sometimes, if we go to Home Depot, I might bring home a plant. I'm putting the wrong
couple plants.
or something. But it's a life-giving thing, and it's we buy like a new plant for every house. Yep. So nice. That's always nice. It like brings back a memory from that specific house. But yes, experiences are way better than things, and things break. They go out of style, or they're just heavy. Having to move them is a pain in the butt. So always thinking about that for me is important, especially in having to move every year. But things that are going to last me for a long time is important. And of course, you get the memories. You get like little trinkets from vacations here and there. So those kinds of things I do want to hold on to and move them along. But sometimes we don't even get to unbox them because there's just absolutely no room. So we just have to leave them in the garage or leave them in a shed. But for the most part, things a waste of money. I mean, it's a consumer economy out there, huge, and I don't need to contribute to it as much.
Actually, that's another way along those lines to add. It's been, because we move every year, it almost makes us acquire, whether we consciously think about it, we just don't buy a lot of heavy things. It's like we need to find optimal things because we're like professional movers at this point. She knows how to label things and like know exactly what's in each box. And we save all the boxes. So we're like this time 1 year from now, ready to go again. And eventually, we'll find that final-ish place. We're still talking about it. Mm-hmm. It'll still be House Hack, Mike. Some form of it. It'll just be, we might get more like, a little more space.
There you go. There you go. That was going to actually be my next question because you're on a pretty good clip once a year. Was that purposeful, or is that just when the deal showed up, or have you guys always talked about, hey, the next one? So, is that always been the plan, one a year?
Yes. So when you buy these, because you're all primary residence owner occupied loans, so the only rule with the loan is intend to occupy for 1 year. Right. And we abide by those rules, and then we look for the next one, because we're not looking. This is more of the acquisition phase. We're not looking to try to stay more than that, because we know it's more about the next one, and then eventually hitting that final goal number, which was basically to beat Mr. Lumberjack Landlord. That's where we're at today, because we don't need to be honest, Mike, we're done. We don't need to do anymore. It's just more just for him.
There you go. I love it. You got to have goals. And beating the Lumberjack works for me. You got to have that goal. That's awesome. You mentioned earlier about taking a couple of months off to go to Colombia. So again, one of the rewards of doing this, right? It is the cheat code to wealth. If you stay on this journey long enough, you get to 6, 7, 8, 9, you do have financial freedom. And for you, that could mean, hey, let's go do 2 months in Colombia. That's a pretty nice reward, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Or one of those month-long cruises too, that you've gone on cruises. I know you mentioned that you really like those, and we were just like, we should do one of those Mediterranean cruises too. So
so we've done a lot. I think we've done almost 20. Mediterranean is a lot of fun. Each little island is their own thing. We did an Antarctic cruise, which is kind of cool, out of Brazil down to the Antarctica and back. We've done Panama down to Chile. I really like Chile in South America. It's kind of a surprising country. Didn't like the Baltic Sea. Didn't like Russia. Asia was cool. Alaska is amazing. Like a 10-day in Alaska is pretty awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah. Alaska's like this own little world. It's like bizarre because it's just so different. So anyways, I digress.
Wow, no, that's exciting. So stuff like that. Like the world is our oyster. It's just so exciting. It's a whole different dynamic than most people our age are able to have.
So let's dig into that a little bit. So if you're comfortable, how old are you?
Jeff.
I'm 41 years old, Mike.
There you go. Well, I got you by 11 years. So I'm 52. So we'll just throw that out there. I'll just say 40.
Okay.
You are financially free.
Yeah.
It took roughly a decade, right, to get there. You now have at least 40 amazing years ahead of you where you're going to be healthy. You're going to be able to do what you want when you want. That's like a dream. And it's all because of house hacking.
Yes. And I think we talked about this before when we first talked to you, is like our initial goal is to buy 10 fourplexes in 10 years. And then it changed after that first one, because it was just a lot of work, and we pivoted to more optimal strategy that could work with our W-2 jobs and all that. But the fact that we could talk about that we just mentioned is it's almost unbelievable, because when we started it, we thought it would take probably more time than it did, and it happened a little faster than we thought, and all because we were willing to be flexible and move multiple times. And the funny thing
seems like such a small price. We got to move. And again, all of your units are within what, like a 20-mile radius, 10 miles?
Like 10 miles.
So a 10-mile radius. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're going all over, garage. You also only have 700 square feet. So it's not like you got one U-Haul truck, right? It's not even a big U-Haul truck. Right? To move.
In some cases, no U-Haul. One time, Jeff had to move a bed just like walking down the street.
I carried a bed, Mike. We moved like 2 blocks away. Yeah. And I carried the bed because it was, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I had a mattress on.
Yeah, we have the video, right?
Yeah, I was just rooting Jeff on. You got this, baby. It's okay. We're almost there. Yeah.
Jeff, you can hire people, buddy. Come on. So clearly you two are an amazing couple. You click, you gel, you're always happy together. I don't know what magic you guys have, but you have it. Talk about the communication, because I'm guessing it's not always fun. It's probably stressful at some times. Just encourage couples that are thinking about this journey. Just talk about how important communication is.
I think it's super important. And I think what's most important is talking about the things you don't think you should talk about. That's what you should be talking about. Don't think somebody can read your mind, or like, you should have known this, or I've told you that, whatever. Then just say it again.
Yeah.
What's it going to cost you to say it again? Just say it again. And it may not even land even that time, but at least you're communicating and you're saying something. So speaking it, those uncomfortable conversations, or talking about, what you don't like about maybe that property. And then like my husband is really good about making sure that I feel safe and comfortable in every single property. And that if anything bothers me, that we do something to alleviate that. Or even he'll like even tell me, well, think of it this way, or, whatever. And it's not just me. Sometimes Jeff doesn't like something about the property too. And then I try to encourage him, like, it's all right, babe. We got like 4 more months. Think about it. Like,
it's only 4 months, honey.
No big deal. We're good. Let's try to do this instead, just to make time go by faster. So communication is huge. And I think just anytime in our relationship, we do intertwine kind of like the landlord side with our relationship too. I think of it as like parents. Parents, when they're out and about, they still talk about their kids because they love them. Like, these are our kids in a way. They're going to take care of us when we're older, more than some kids would take care of their own parents.
No doubt. Yeah.
So for me, it's okay to intertwine that and to talk about it, to allow those conversations to come up while we're out to eat, or if we're having a date night or whatever. It's okay. It's fun. I don't mind it.
Yeah. I would say a big thing is really understand what each other doesn't like, or willing to work through those differences, right? So the fact that, some people aren't comfortable living next to roommates, but I told her, like, okay, here's the situation. Here's how we could cash flow more if we add a couple roommates. I'll screen them well. I'll make sure, they're not serial killers. They're any weird people like that. They'll be normal people. I'll find introverts so you never see them. That's my talent too, Mike, is to screen for introverts. And they hide in their rooms. So you didn't
behind the door.
Yeah. Yes. So you never really saw them. So it didn't feel like you're living with 3 roommates. And that was a big piece. And then understanding, like, when we went through those ups and downs. So like when we would kind of play off each other. So like whenever we had an issue of some tenant question or an issue going on, I could say, okay, like, here's the situation. What do you think? Like, we could bounce ideas off each other. She could play the bad cop. I could be good cop.
Really?
Yes. It could work out that way as well. So we weren't just coming in alone or just trying to figure things out by ourselves. We kind of worked as a team effort, and that made a huge difference too. And gave us overcome those down times where it was stressful, or you're hearing the kids run around upstairs, and like, I didn't want to say anything. I was like, well, I'll just fall asleep to it. And she's like, nope, you got to do something. Get up.
Yeah, come on, Jeff. Get out of bed.
We may be able to handle it, but the tenant that moves in after us may not be able to. So we have to set that standard. And so that was important for me.
I love that. I want to talk about roles and responsibilities. And it just hit me. I remember Suleika with the #1 quote from episode 1 that we did. Do you remember? Do you know what I'm going to say?
The #1 quote. Oh.
Yeah, you said that Jeff. Now I'm going to talk about roles and responsibilities. You said that Jeff is a freak in the sheet. You remember that?
Yeah. There's a mug.
I lost it when you said that, just out of left field last time, that Jeff is a freak in the sheet. Congratulations, I guess. Congratulations. But talk about roles and responsibilities. Clearly, he's the numbers guy. Yes. But let's remind people of your kind of how you gel together.
All right. So we, aside from gelling together, just like at home and like home things, but and landlording, it's so important to say what you don't like to do and what you do like to do. And then I just grab the things I like, and Jeff grabs the things that he like, and magically, and this won't happen all the time, but we like what we like, and what Jeff doesn't like, I really like, and what I really like, Jeff doesn't like, and so it's so perfect. Jeff will see a house and all he thinks, oh, he like runs numbers and this and that, and then for me, I'm like, what would the landscape look like? What weeds can I pull? Like, and I just see myself working out there. I make a playlist of music I'm gonna jam to when I'm out there working in the yard, and that for me just like gets me so excited of like what the transformation would look like. And then Jeff looks at it like, this is how much money we're going to be making while we're living there. This is how much money we're going to make when we move out. This is exciting, and so it works out. But I'm more a hands-on person, and Jeff is more behind the scenes,
running the deal, operations, the numbers.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to go back to that big house. What is it today? Is it Section 8 to one family? Is it roommates still, or what is that house today?
The 7-bedroom? Lakewood, yeah.
Yep, the Lakewood. Yeah, so it's currently all rent by room, Mike. So
okay, rent by room.
Yeah, 7 beds, 7 guys, no pets, no girlfriends that I know of. So,
so how many? I guess tenants. How many tenants do you have now?
Right now, 26 total. Come on, between Section 8 market, rent by room, and then 1 sober living home. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So let's try to encourage people. Let's say there's a young couple, no kids yet, and they watch this. They get inspired by PTO for Life. They like the idea. It's a sexy title, right? PTO for Life. That's what we're playing for. Great title. Love that. How do you start that conversation? Like Jeff, you read that book, Mark Ferguson, couple of lines. How do you broach that subject of house hacking?
How do you?
Well, yeah, I actually do have this conversation a lot because I work as an agent with house hacking couples sometimes. And usually the big thing I want them to discuss really without me around is like, talk to each other about your deal breakers, talk to each other about kind of not just your long-term goals, but like, what do you guys don't like? What's like something like, I don't want this, really understand what you don't want. Because easy to say like, oh, I'm open to this or that, but that person's really not. Or they might say that to make the other person happy, but kind of separate the two and come up with like your list of deal breakers and then meet again. And then they talk and discuss, and then that will at least help them kind of be more on the same page than majority of couples that just go into it because they get inspired. Because usually you see one person's more into it than the other. Mm-hmm. And what you want to see is them on the same page, same team. And that's where the deal breaker list in the beginning, I think, is a great starting place.
Yeah. Again, I think, I've talked about it all the time. Both of us are very fortunate that our significant others have been 100% on board since day one. Shout out Olivia, who hopefully sees this later. But not everybody's there. Right. Sometimes there's conversation. I love that idea about getting the deal breakers. Like, what do you not want? Like, don't want roommates. Okay, check. Don't want roommates, but maybe, house with an ADU, maybe to have those discussions. But the other thing I'm curious about is, day one, you own nothing yet. You read this, you get the vision, you're on the same page. You already talked about like the first plan was 10 fourplexes. You do the first fourplex, too much work, wrong area, all of that. Then you pivot to what works. Why don't you talk about why not fourplexes for you and why, something else?
It's more so not that fourplex.
Okay.
That because our next house hack is a fourplex.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going right back into a fourplex, but not that one. We were actually talking about how like difficult that one was and how that was more of a project for like a team of investors to come in and do it. And it was just us two. And like, all I knew is what I learned, like working with my dad when I was little, but I mean, it's nothing huge. And so it was a big family effort to get this taken care of, and calling, friends and whatnot to come help out. And so that was a really difficult one. And that's why not that one, but yeah, Ford Flexes in the future is totally fine.
Okay. All right.
And then to bring it like that one, yeah, it was more, we underestimated pretty much everything with that one. It was basically more than there you go. It was more than we just underestimated kind of the amount of work, and we like, it doesn't look that bad, and then it was that bad. It was probably
it was that bad times 2.
So
I've been there. I know what that's like.
Great learning. We learned more in that year than what any education could pay for. So great experience from that, and it kind of taught us like, okay, on how going forward, we want more of that rent ready, move-in ready stuff that we could just do the easier things, not a full rehab where you can't move in for 3 months because of so many issues.
Right.
And then it's to change our buy box to be able to learn from that first one and then apply it. So it wasn't so much we didn't like the fourplex. That was pretty much the worst one we could start with. But times a lot. And then we applied those concepts to future ones and overcame that hurdle and became way better investors.
There you go. Well, let's talk about some funny stories. I'm sure over the last roughly decade or so, you have some funny stories. Saleka, I know there's a story about you being chased by cats. What's going on there?
Yes, that is very true. Well, one of the there was a family moving out of a 5-bedroom. So this is a lot of work to have to clean up and whatnot. This whole family's moving out. And so we gave ourselves at least a week to turn this place over. And so, I get there, of course, it's dirty. There are flies everywhere. Like, oh, this is not how we gave it to you guys, but okay, let's go in and clean. I'm not a fan of cats at all.
Not your thing.
No, if we're watching TV and like a cat commercial comes on, just like turn around, don't watch that.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I just don't like them that much. Okay. Well, here I am. I'm kind of like in the basement, cleaning the stairs or ripping out the carpet from the stairs. We just had to rip out everything. So ripping out the carpet from the stairs, and I just see something like go by, kind of like in a scary movie, you see something like run by, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And then I start videotaping because I was like, well, what if this is something paranormal or whatever? Maybe I'll catch it. It was a cat. They left their cats, which they're not supposed to have in the first place. No pets allowed. They left their cat behind. And so there's this cat. And so I'm like, oh my God, there's a cat down here. What the heck's going on? And then it like leaves, but then it turns around and it chases me up the stairs. So I'm running up the stairs.
This is my house, not yours.
Yeah, like the cat was like, what are you doing in my house? Yeah, it was just so bad. So I run out, and the cat comes out chasing me. And so I close the door. Like, okay, it's out of there. I go back downstairs. Of course, I'm a little like still jittery and whatnot. And then there was another one. And then I was like, oh God, I can't believe this. This is so
of you.
They left their damn cats here. So that was very, very scary for me. And it is caught on, it did get caught on tape. Like they're running out, like screaming.
So like you saw a monster.
Yeah. And then the good thing though is when we have those situations or when we know we're about to come to like a hurdle that we know is going to be tough, like that house was really tough to turn around. It was, we had to like take out all the appliances. Everything was just jacked up.
Yeah.
Not the way we handed it over, but that was the way it was handed to us. Anyway, the great thing is that Jeff is so supportive. He's like, babe, don't worry. Once this is over, like we'll take a quick trip somewhere, wherever you want to go. We'll just go for like a 3-day vacation, just a quick something, just to like get it all off. And that gave me and so that gave me like, it just like allowed me to just, okay, let me just suck it up, finish this out. And next thing you know, we're sipping margaritas on a beach. So it's fine.
You should tell them the story about finding the bird.
Oh yeah, and in that same house too, we're like replacing
you're trying to clean it, right?
The thing that
grease trap.
The grease trap
for the stove.
Yeah.
Oh,
and and I'm cleaning it out, and oh my god, between my mom and I and easy off and everything, it takes us hours to finally get this clean, and we just want to save it. We don't want to have to rip that out too. We want to save it. Well, no, it was like not savable. Somehow like 2 birds got in and like got fried. And so as we're taking this thing out, these birds just like flop onto the like stove, and they're just all dead and crusty, and it was just awful.
Didn't you turn it on and like it was burning?
Yeah.
You're like, what's that?
What's that smell? I smell KFC. What's going on?
Fried chicken. That's gross.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, these are awesome stories.
And not always Jeff is not there. He's like, oh, this client wants to take me out for a beer. I'm like, okay.
Go for it.
I'm analyzing future deals, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
like,
roles and responsibilities. Yeah, roles and responsibilities. That's awesome. So I think I have it correct. So far, it's just the 2 of you, no kids, no pets, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If kids come in the future, is that when you kind of anchor and you kind of stop moving once a year? Have you had that conversation, or that's not really part of the conversation?
Yeah, we don't really want kids.
Okay, I didn't know.
If God, a miracle happens, and
okay,
which we don't want. We're not trying for it.
Okay,
but if it happens, I don't think it'll stop us. There are families that we know that house hack, and they're doing just fine. Kids, so it wouldn't stop us at all.
Yeah. We probably do different form of it. So if that happened, then we'd probably get like that, side-by-side duplex with the garage in the middle.
Yeah, you would just tweak your buy box a little bit.
Yeah.
So and then actually along those lines too is we do plan on, once we hit number 10, that's kind of like our final 2 to 3 year one. And then we'll upgrade our space. I told her like we'll go to our dream locations called Sloan's Lake in Denver, which is like the largest lake in Denver. It's really small relative to California and whatnot, but it's really beautiful. It's our favorite spots where we met.
Nice.
And we has a lot of meaning to us. That's where we want to end up eventually at our final-ish one, we call it.
Nice.
But still do some form of it, like a house ADU, probably be our final.
I have never planned to ask this, but given you indicated that's where you met, I'm curious, was it just like a 3-day weekend, or you guys went there individually and you just met each other, or like what's the cute story about how you 2 met?
No. Well, we met at the Four Seasons.
La ti da.
Yeah. I know, full party.
But I lived in the Sloan's Lake area when I first moved to Denver, and Jeff had actually never driven or been around that area. He grew up in a different area of Denver, and so when he came to visit me, we would go for walks around the lake, and then we would go and like have breakfast close to there, and just it's just like close to our hearts. So we do want to move back, and like ever since then, the prices there, they're getting crazy.
Doubles, triples.
I'm like, oh my gosh, no, are we going to be able to make it there or not? Hopefully we do. That is that's one of our whys too, is to get right back there.
Nice. And it clearly it's a why that you both share.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. You guys are just on the same page. That's like
crazy.
And until then, just us. We still really enjoy each other's company. And like, even a pet, I feel like would just
disrupt.
I would feel more. I would feel like I'm not getting enough attention, Mike. So I feel like this little dog. It'd be cute dog, but I'd be like,
any other living creature would divide the focus. That is absolutely. And you would lose out. Let me just tell you, as a guy, you would lose out. The dog gets more love. You're a smart man. So let's kind of round. I guess the last thing I talk about, I think the last time we spoke, Jeff, you were still working, but at the tail end of a day job, like a W2. I did see a post where you left that. Now you're an agent helping house hackers and the like in the Denver area. But talk about that transition from the security of a W2 to not. Talk about that.
Yeah. So just past the 1 year actually of being out of W-2.
Nice.
It's been probably the most amazing thing ever because she was telling me, I didn't realize it because I was for 17 years from 2006 to 2023, it's corporate finance, accounting. It was every day, 8 to 5, 8 to 6, looking at numbers. I like the numbers. I like Excel. I like to analyze things, but every day, it was just the routine was the thing. It was always rinse and repeat, little circle. And I was used to that routine. I didn't even know what it was like because I didn't know anything else. Because I'd been in a routine, since I graduated college and then after college. And then when I left it, it was like, wait a minute, I could technically set my own schedule, do the things I'm interested in, we've taken more vacations in this 1 year, this 2024, than both of us taken our whole lives.
Yeah.
So Jeff, I have a little tidbit for you. Yeah. You don't take vacations. You take trips.
Oh, yes. Trips. Yeah.
Vacations don't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have unlimited PTO.
Yeah, unlimited. Yes. No, it's when you're on their side, it's like you don't know, because how do you know if you don't know?
Yeah, it's just weird,
like
right?
Just a different mindset. You can pursue the things that you're most passionate about, flexibility. And whether you want to, create a YouTube channel, help other investors out, get another house hack, you have those options of whatever you choose. Like I like to paint and I want to get back into that. And that's something I'm really passionate
about.
Really?
Like art? Like
landscaping.
Yeah.
Wow. Just not houses like.
No, I was going to say.
Inside the house or outside.
I'll choose it.
Yeah, you want a canvas, not a house.
Yeah.
I got it.
But yeah, that's where the other side, the mentality is you really can't describe the feel. It's almost, the feeling's almost unbelievable. I can't even put into words. It's
did you have I remember a moment, because I don't know if it happened to you, but it really took me kind of months to get to this feeling that you actually have the freedom, right? So you quit someday, right? January 1st, just to pick a day, but it probably doesn't feel like it until sometime in February or March. Do you remember when you had that moment? Maybe it was midday or something that we did it, honey, feeling?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if it wasn't like the next day. I think it was probably like the following Monday or Tuesday. Okay. And it was like, wait a minute. Like, 'cause I'm so used to waking up early to get ready. Click. And it was like 10 o'clock or something. Like right now, we should be both working our jobs and we're just talking. We're not at breakfast. We're just doing something like we don't have to. We're done. We completed the goal. Nice. We can do whatever we want to do, and that type of freedom is like I said, I can't describe in words. And I hope every single listener gets that experience that in their lifetime or way sooner than they expect, because it's such an amazing thing. And you could travel when you want. You could just take those days, spend a random Wednesday, just building gingerbread houses before Christmas. Like,
yay!
If you want to do that.
I think it's funny when if we're on our way to say like breakfast or something, and there's traffic. And Jeff's like, what are these people doing out here? You should be at work. I'm like, oh gosh.
I forgot.
I forgot what it's like.
They should be at work. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe it's their day off, Jeff. I mean, who knows?
Well, it's so Jeff, great. It's a holiday, buddy. It's a holiday. You remember those?
Yeah, it's great. I'm so excited. Awesome. Actually, Jeff, it took him a while to even get there because I told him, babe, I think it would be so great if at 39, you're able, like, even if it's the last day that you're 39, that would be so great to be like done in your 30s. Yeah. But no, it took him like a whole year and 2 months and 2 weeks to finally do it. Even though he could have technically done it before, but I think because he was in such a routine, he's like, no, they need me. And then work sometimes gives you this like false thought that you're so needed there. But when it comes down to it and they need a downgrade, they don't care about you anymore. Suddenly you're out, you're replaceable. And so that was just something, it's kind of, come on, Jeff, like
you can do it.
You can do it.
She gave me the script too
Yeah.
to help give notice to my boss. And you think, Mike, I was like, okay, I got all, like, she gave me a pep talk, the script. I was ready to go. And I go in there. And then they say, Jeff, you did, is my CEO. So my boss is the CFO. And he was sitting down with the CEO. It's like a 15-person company. So a really small company. And they said, Jeff did a great job this week. You know, you can have the rest of the day off. And like, they never done that. And they let me go at like 2:00 in the afternoon. And I was like, well, I'm not going to put in my notice today. So
I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah. Then it took another 2 weeks.
And then 2 weeks later,
I was still there 2 weeks.
Like, what's he still doing at work?
Oh, that's so Lake, I have a question for you. So he's been out just over a year. Is he the same Jeff? Is he happier? Has Jeff morphed or changed at all now that he doesn't have this whole 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 thing?
Jeff, I just feel like he's not, I guess, bullied as much, in a sense where he feels like he has to be there for someone higher up that's like yelling in his ear sometimes. That I didn't like that. I didn't like that about his boss.
Now he's there just for you.
He was not nice to Jeff. Jeff is such a sweet, caring, just lovable person. That now he gets to do his own thing. He's his own boss, and he's always a happy person. And even that boss had said, "Oh, I try to break Jeff, but wow, Jeff is just so happy, loving, great person that he's unbreakable." And I was like, "How dare he? You try to break
kidding.
Him, you're horrible." So I was like, "You're definitely quitting that job. And I don't even care if they get sad. I don't care. They suck." But yes, Jeff is so much happier, and I'm so happy that he's happy with what he's doing, that he's able to take something on that he's really passionate about. He's looking at numbers, but not their numbers. He's looking at his own.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. He's looking at your own.
Yes. Our own.
Our own. Yes. Yeah. So let's bring this home. You are going to be leading off day 2 of the ORAD event in Vegas. So it'll be Sunday, 8 a.m. on the 16th. What I know you're going to take Q&A from the audience, but what do you want to kind of impart to the audience to get ready for?
To get ready for
just an amazing couple. Just put it out there.
Just very unconventional, an unconventional way of living that can give you an unconventional way of retirement. That isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's amazing. It does take sacrifice, but if you want it, you can do it. It's possible. It is possible. I don't have a real estate background. I don't have a landlord background, but I know what I wanted. And to get there, we had to do this, and it was fine. You're not going to die.
You're not. That's exactly right. Yeah. I mean, sacrifice is just that. I think.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, when I think about your presentation and what resonate with the audience, it's like I would probably paint the picture of what you guys have done in the last 12 months, like, hey, 2 months in Colombia or whatever it's been.
Oh. And
like that was the goal. And then like rewind the clock and go back to that 4-plex house hack and then this, and like we just did in this episode. Because again, it's nice to sit there and like, honey, someday we can have this. You guys have it. So tell them what you have. And then go, hey, it all started back here. And then they can ask you a bunch of questions.
I love it. Kind of Quentin Tarantino it in a way. Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that.
I like it. So you guys have an amazing IG channel. It's been on the screen the whole time, PTO for Life. You also have a YouTube channel. Any other place we should send folks?
No, those are the 2 best spots. Yeah, because that's the easiest way to reach out to us or experience our channels. And I think, and we talk about all things house hacking and just the funny things, day in lives and different deals sometimes too. We bring up that just to make it more interesting.
This year, we re-optimized a lot of our properties. So in doing that, we had to kind of step away from like the YouTube channel and stuff. It takes a lot of work. Yeah. And we are already, even though we're young, we are already people that are not usually on our phones or do social media or anything. So that's been a hard hurdle for us too. But it doesn't mean that we're not passionate about it. It doesn't mean that that we're not doing the work. Oh, we are doing the work. This whole year, we've optimized to where optimized all our properties to where our cash flow went up as if we got a whole other house hack.
Yep.
In just optimizing what we currently have. So it's great. It's good. I'll get chased by cats again.
You're down for that? No problem. No
That's
problem. Two cats, but not 3 cats. Only 2 cats.
Only 2.
Guys, you guys are amazing. Thank you again for coming out to Vegas, being speakers. It means a lot to me. I look forward to seeing again. Folks, go check them out. PTO for Life. They are an amazing couple. I don't know what it is. They click, they gel. They are better together. Folks, PTO for Life. It is possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.